So first I want to apologise, I'm absolutely full of a stinking cold, so this is probably going to sound a little rough. Right, I cut out the wheel arches on the Bronco, so now you can get a better look of the chassis that I mocked up for it. Now, yeah, I mean, it's leaning back properly on those tyres, but while I was trimming the arches out, this big chunk here came off. What I do is I use the score and tear method, and I scored it here, but it tore there. So there's a big chunk of that wheel arch missing, so I don't know, maybe I'll fake some rust on that later. Right, so why is this puppy out? Now, this, as I mentioned in the last video, I've been running around trying to find a chassis that I can modify to fit under that body shell. Because I've loved the idea of a Bronco for years. Now it's here, I can't make it work. I can't paint it till I've got it mounted to a chassis. Now there's the problem, like I mentioned in the last video. Getting it mounted to a chassis is the problem. Now, I'd made this to build another 1/6 or large 1/8 truck. Now, you'll notice that this chassis is within a millimetre, and I'll put that down to the larger tyres. Exactly the same size as that chassis. Now, I never actually considered this chassis as a donor. Now, bear with me one moment. Right, so now, this is sort of leftover bits and some upgrades. Like I recently bought this and these are left over from this X102 clone that made the Ironhide. Now, I have found the 2 superfluous links that I took out of it, and I can't find the other 2 because the front ones are still on it, and I remade new ones for the back. So yeah, I would have just put all the links back on and made it shorter, and then that would have been that chassis then the right size for that. I would have just made this chassis fit Ironhide probably, but I can't find the other 2 links. I've been trying to avoid 2 things: 1, making new links, or 2, destroying a chassis that I built. And all of these chassis that I've showed you in these last 2 videos I built and haven't been out and had a good test. Now, that's not strictly true with this one, because this truck had these axles on it. Now, I took the axles, I bought a set of metal axles, which ended up on the Chevy and the old Maverick Scout HSP or Red Cat Everest 10 axles ended up on this, because I wanted this to be a bit tougher because these axles are a bit weak. Now, this is why I wanted to build like something light with them, but in all fairness, the build I was planning would not be a light build anyway. So I think I may have found my sacrificial lamb. Just bear with me one moment. Right, now, so this has got one of those, it's a crawler gearbox, but it's like all in one little housing. It's a low profile gearbox. I had another one of these, but ended up on another truck, so I thought I'd done really well getting this up and running as it is, so, but I haven't tested it in this particular configuration yet. Pardon me while I have another huge coughing fit. Right, so I built it and I've tested it pretty much as it is, with those axles on and a smaller motor and a normal gearbox. So then I swapped on these axles, made a whole set of new links, and got it working well, as I thought, to perfection, thinking this would be a tough little fucker. This would be tough as boots, tough as old boots, and I'll be able to get this, give this some stick with a brushless motor. But if I don't find a chassis to go under this, I need to wait until I get some money in September. It's March. Yes, so many months away. I can't leave it sat like this all that time. So I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to use these axles, because as you can see, give or take a few millimetres here and there, these 2 chassis are identical. So I can swap these links, because these skid plate motor mounts are exactly the same. They're just different coloured metal, different colours anodizing. So I can put these axles on there and it will be the right size. So that's an easy swap. I will then just have to adjust those links to make those axles fit on that chassis. So it's an easy do, a frustrating, difficult choice, but it's an easy fix in comparison to all the work I had to do with everything else. Because the body's mounted, I don't have to touch the mounts, it's just the axles I'm taking off. Now, these wheels have a particularly narrow aperture in the rear, so they may or may not fit on these axles, so we'll see about that. But that's the plan, peeps, that's the plan. I'm not going to show you me taking these apart because, well, you don't need to see that, and my voice isn't up to a long video, as it's getting deeper and deeper by the end of this video. I don't know how it's coming across on camera, but I sound like Orson Welles to myself, much to the amusement of my wife. Don't make myself laugh. Don't make myself laugh. That'll be another coffee fit. Right, so that's the plan. I'm going to swap these axles off. I'm going to swap these axles on and hope these drive shafts fit those axles, because I'd be mortally upset if they don't, because at least then this had this tendency for, there's like I don't know if you can see it there, there's like a little wire ring holds the drive pin in. That little wire clip keeps coming off, leaving it 3-wheel drive. So worst case scenario, it'll be 3-wheel drive and I'll drop a smaller motor in. And then when September comes, I'll buy some more metal axles and they'll go on that. And then I can put as much power through it as I want them within reason. So that's the plan, peeps, that's the plan. Right, okay, 7 minutes, that'll do for now. Thanks for watching, and so before I say thanks for watching and goodbye, so if I get these axles swapped over, I forgot to mention this, they're on hex adapters to make it wider. These are actually standard 110 crawler axles, so width wise these should be perfect for that build. So, because I tried these on there and they're 1/8, 1/6 scale axle, they're too wide for that. I don't want to make a monster truck, I want it to look more or less like that with, if it were a real truck I'd have like a 4 or 6 inch lift, and that's it. I don't want it to look any bigger than that. And so there we go. Once I've got a chassis set up, I can drill the holes for the body mounts, because I have the longer SUV style body mounts, so I can mount the body straight away once I've got the position of these side, because I put them further forward and further to the rear on this, for this longer axle, longer chassis. Anyway, I'm losing it now, so alright, there we go. I'll make that happen and then I'll come back. Thanks for watching, goodbye.